Celebrity Catwalk. If you've ever admired the wardrobe of Trey Songz, Rick Ross, or Jason Derulo, then you probably admired our next guest's work. An accomplished artist and fashion running through her veins, Talia Cole is here to be our very own fashion police. Thanks, Talia, for being here.
Thank you, Danielle, for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm great, thank you. Great introduction, thank you.
Yeah. So tell me what it's like to create the image of these artists.
Well, honestly, like I love to come from a place of contribution. They call me the musical stylist as a singer-songwriter and a designer who used to design my own wardrobe as an artist. And Trey Songz and I had the same management. And I took the initiative when he was getting hot. Like I felt like his music was amazing and his style could use some spoofing up. So I originally bought in someone to support me in helping that come to fruition, which was the fashion. And that relationship didn't work out too well. And what happened was I got stuck with the job and killed the OMG tour with him and Usher. And I had been with Trey for 3 years. And my objective was, when I did the presentation, was hood to GQ. And as I started to develop his fashion sense, I got Trey in GQ magazine and on to Rick Ross. Rick Ross, the boss, is in GQ magazine this go around. He got best dressed for Grammys, for the Grammy red carpet. And now Jason Derulo, he just finished his Everything 4 tour, who we designed the whole tour, like from the dancers down special pieces. And I mean, I'm just super excited, and I just love to, come from a place of contribution when it comes to imaging, so see it come to life and their whole persona change. I love it.
You do a lot. Do you find yourself wearing a lot of hats?
I do. Actually, the musical stylist within itself is hats. The artist aspect of me with the singer-songwriter, and then there is the fashion stylist, which is putting the images together, and then there's the designer aspect of me, where it's creating a piece from start to finish, coming up with an idea and just seeing it come to life and seeing my artists perform on stages, walk runways with it, red carpets, it's like those are a lot of hats within itself. But I mean, I always feel like fashion and music go together. So the name of my clothing line is Kissum Couture, which is music backwards. CISUM Couture. So that, that's something that, like I said, it's hats within itself. It's music and fashion, and it goes together hand in hand.
Now, you spend so much time styling other people. Do you style yourself? Do you put yourself together?
Well, today I put myself together. Most of the time I do, they would say like touched by the musical stylist, and I say I do touch myself as well as far as when it comes to style, but when it comes time to think outside the box, I definitely bring on a friend of mine who's a great stylist and designer for women. I mean, he makes the most beautiful pieces. So, he helps me think outside the box. That's like, as human beings, we naturally go to what works for us, what we're used to. Like, when you go into a store, you're gonna go buy those same leggings, those same T-shirt that fits you a certain kind of way, the same shoes. That's pretty much everybody. That's why they call me to think outside the box. So a lot of the times, I call him to support me in just thinking outside the box. And also, believe it or not, my boyfriend has a big part to play in picking my clothes. Where I thought I'd be the one helping him bring all his stuff to life, which I do, he definitely picks a lot of my clothes out too. That's another little aspect that comes. It's just different minds I need to help bring, come outside of my comfort zone, so.
Well,
Does that answer your question?
It does,
okay,
it does.
Good.
You answered it because you do everything. You style yourself, you style other people, and you just look flawless doing it.
Oh,
you look
thank
so
you. I
beautiful.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I brought in a couple images for you.
Okay.
And I would like for you to lend your stylist expertise. Would you do that for me?
I'd be more than happy to.
All right. So the first one up is Karrueche Tran in Seth Chernoff.
Karrueche is adorable. She's a cutie pie, and not too much she can do to go wrong. I feel like I could have done without the shredding of the dress, because you have to really get into the details. The way it's photographed, it just looks like kind of like, the shreds of toilet paper kind of hanging down, or like, I don't know. Yeah, it's not one of her better dresses, but like I said, she's adorable, so it doesn't look bad on her.
She can get away with stuff.
For sure.
Next up, actress Carey Mulligan at the Tonys. Even though this is Balenciaga, it was panned by the critics.
Balenciaga is an amazing collection designer. This piece in particular does nothing for her shape. The color mixed with the way the design is, I mean, it really doesn't say much at all. You would never know it's even a design. It kind of looks like a sheet.
Sorry, Carrie. Next, we have Gwen Stefani and Yusuf Al-Jazmi.
Gwen Stefani, she's a rock star. She's a trendsetter. Pretty much, she's probably one of the only artists that can pull this off. I love the choice of hair, the makeup with it. It's risky, but I mean, it's something that I would have chose.
Now, a side note about Gwen Stefani, I'm not sure if you know, but she's dating her coworker on The Voice. What do you think about dating coworkers?
A lot of people might say don't mix business with pleasure. I say follow your heart. You know, I mean, a lot of artists don't get a lot of time to spend with their partners, so hey, they get to work together and love on each other. Hey, if it works, if she's happy, that's what's important.
Well said. Next up, Rihanna and Giambattista.
Rihanna and Giambattista Valli. Only Rihanna can pull off the cake dress. Only she can. I mean, this girl,
Did
like,
you say cake dress?
yeah, it looks like it looks kind of like layers of a cake, but it's Rihanna. Like, she's adorable. She's amazing. I'm sorry, I'm a Riri fan, so I mean, she looks amazing.
I have just a couple more, but my next one is Lucy Liu and Carolina Herrera.
Lucy Liu, beautiful woman, the floral dress, the bouquet, on about, no. I'm gonna have to say this Carolina Herrera, she could have had another choice, for sure.
Okay. And finally, Jane Fonda in Versace. Before you say anything, she's 77, so go easy.
Okay, wait. The age has nothing to do with this phenomenal look from head to toe. 1, Jane Fonda. 2, Versace. I'm a part of the Versace family. I love this dress. I love this choice. Hair down to the, I mean, she just looks phenomenal. And the fact that she's 70-something years old, it's like, whoa, she looks amazing.
All right, I am done. 10 out of 10.
Hey.
I think I would have said the same thing. Thank you so much, Talia, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Danielle. I had a wonderful time.
Thank you.
And Celebrity Catwalk, I'm excited to be a part of the show. Thank you.
You're going to come back, right?
I promise I will.
Yes. In the meantime, go to www.iamtaliacoles.com, and that's where you can check out Talia's latest projects.
Welcome back to Celebrity Catwalk. I'm Stephanie Matera, your lifestyle correspondent, and here with me today is the North Shore Animal League America to share their mission with us. We have the Senior Director of Operations, Sylvia Otaka, and the Director of Outreach and Youth Programs, Jane Vitale. Thank you for being here with me today, ladies.
Oh, thanks for having us, Stephanie.
And so North Shore Animal League America is the world's largest no-kill rescue organization. How do you achieve that mission and keep it going?
Well, we do so many different programs that enable us to achieve this mission. Each year, we are able to place nearly 20,000 animals into homes through our different programs. One of our top programs is our Humane Relocation Program, where we work with shelters across the country, relocating animals to areas where we know that we can get them adopted. We started this back in the 90s, so we work with overcrowded municipal shelters where animals are facing euthanasia, and we're able to bring them back to our shelter where we know they're going to get the perfect home. We have many other programs too. We have our Tour for Life coming up. It's kicking off March 9th. This is the world's largest mobile adoption event that crosses the country. We're partnering with Purina. It's really exciting. We're going to be traveling over 26,000 miles.
Wow.
From New York to California.
That's incredible.
Yes, we're very excited. We're going to be hitting 38 states and 53 cities. And last year we did over 1,700 adoptions, and this year we're planning to do well over 2,000.
That's incredible. For those animals, that is literally life-changing, and it's incredible. You're here right in Port Washington, New York. So for our viewers, how far is that from where you are right now at the M&N Studios on the Upper West Side?
Not far at all. It's just a train ride away. So about 45 minutes by car. We're right next to the Long Island Railroad, so it's so easy to get with us.
You can walk. It's like 5 minutes to walk from the train.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect. So that's great. For our viewers who are looking to bring a new family member into their home, we hope they visit you at the Port Washington shelter.
Absolutely.
Jane Vitale, you do a lot with children and connecting children with animals. And all of us in the animal community know that that connection between animals and children it's just kismic. There's something magical when you get two of them together. It's amazing.
Because you do. It's an instantaneous combustion, if you will. So as Sylvia was saying, our mission has always been to rescue, nurture, adopt at North Shore Animal League. And now we've added educate, because once, as we know, you educate people, it's incalculable the number of lives that can be saved. So we have a Mudagrees program. And that was a wonderful word that was devised by our president to represent all animals that have been rescued or that are awaiting rescue. But also, it's the name of our curriculum that actually Yale University School of the 21st Century had set out to write this social emotional learning curriculum to teach empathy and resiliency as a skill. So what better way to do that than to bridge it with humane education? So we brought the two together, and again, the word Mudagrees, it's the kids love it because it's also a metaphor for the classrooms now. We're all coming from mixed backgrounds, and the kids really relate to that via the dog, the journey, and of course the rescue. By elevating the shelter pet, the kids really relate to the journey. Right. And they have a natural affinity for that, and they identify because there's a vulnerability in the animals that also is within the children. So they connect with that, the benefits of kindness, but yet also the struggle of suffering. You know? So they learn via the animal, but of course they bring it back to themselves.
And social emotional intelligence is so important for a child's development. We talk a lot about academic rigor, and that's important in challenging ourselves in the classroom, but without having a high social and emotional intelligence, you're really not a full, well-rounded human being. And I think it teaches society too that animals play an important role in our world.
That's right.
They have a very special place and they have a purpose.
That's right.
And so we have a lot to learn from them too.
We certainly do. They can teach us a lot. I mean, they act as, with the children, they act as co-counselors. So they elevate, there's actually the hormones, the positive hormones are elevated. It opens the children up, it builds rapport. So the children trust and they're able to be calm and confident. And their awareness, they actually, like you said, you see it on the spot. They start to identify the emotions of the animal. Then, of course, it brings back to them. They're able to read the body language, and then they learn how to regulate their body language. And this is all really so important and critical to teaching to the whole child. And that's what the social emotional learning is. As I always say, we need to connect the head with the heart. And it's scientifically proven. Kids that have social emotional learning, they're much more successful. They're more likely to go to college, to get a job, to not be high risk, and to be positive thinkers, which is what the animals do as well. They actually release the positive hormone, oxytocin, the endorphins. And when you're a positive thinker, you not just think optimistically, but you feel like you have some sort of control, right? As a negative thinker, you not just may tend to think as a pessimistically, but you feel you have no control of a situation. So what does that do to a child? What does it do to even an adult?
It's immobilizing.
It really is. It's you're not going to be successful. You're going to be afraid to act. You're not going to have that self-confidence.
That's true. Now, how many schools do you partner with?
So we currently are in over 4,000 schools and libraries across the country.
That's amazing. So that's great reach.
Yes. Oh, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. We're in Canada. We're in some. We're also out of the country in a few schools, which is another goal. And I specifically am very concentrated in New York City. We're not only working in the classroom, but we're now working in student homeless shelters. We have a program at Rikers Island. We work with children in mainstream all the way to at-risk to children with special education. We develop programs.
That's incredible. So there's so many touch points that you have through the Mudagrees curriculum.
Yes.
You were mentioning that you have an event coming up too at the Stepping Stones Museum.
Yes, we're so excited about that. Stepping Stones is a wonderful partner of ours, and they have implemented the curriculum as a program within the museum for young adults. And they're having an international conference where Dr. Maddie Finn-Stevenson, who is the creator of the curriculum, will be speaking on a panel.
Wow.
And at a town hall meeting. And on March 5th, we're having this huge block party where we expect about 1,000, close to 1,000 people, maybe more. And our mobile unit will be there, filled with pets, and we'll partner with another shelter there with adoptable pets. Just like with Tour for Life, when they go out, our 4 mobile units will actually go out empty because we have over 2,000 shelter partners across the country. So we actually fill the unit with their animals to help bring awareness in high traffic areas and do big family events where we connect with all our schools that are across the country as well. So we have mission mud agrees where they, connect with Tour for Life and raise awareness for the local shelter.
There's so much cross-pollination, and the reach is just astounding. There's so much thought that goes into the way that your organization operates. I want to say thank you for being here today. And if our viewers want to learn more about North Shore Animal League America, where should they go?
Oh, they should absolutely visit animalleague.org. And if you're interested in the Mud Agrees curriculum, it's education.mudagrees.org.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being here today. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having us, Stephanie. You're great. Thank you for your support.
Oh,
you're
my
incredible.
pleasure.
You're from the heart.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Celebrity Catwalk. I'm Stephanie Matera, your lifestyle correspondent, and today I have a special guest with me. She's the author of the book I'm holding in my hands, which is called My Old Dog, Rescued Pets with Remarkable Second Acts. And she's here to tell us all about the book and the amazing animals that were the inspiration. Thank you for being here today, Laura.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
You have such great energy, so I'm so excited to have you here. So I know you met a very special person who is the photographer for the book, and that was really the impetus to make this book. So tell our viewers about how you got together and what the genesis was.
Absolutely, yes. So this book, My Old Dog, happened because I wrote a feature story for Today.com, where I work. It's the website of the Today Show, and I write human interest stories, and I wrote a feature story about the photographer for this book, Lori Fusaro. She's a really talented animal and pet photographer.
Wow.
And she had launched a really wonderful senior dog photography project. She was trying to help change people's perceptions of senior shelter animals. And I found her photos online and read about her a little bit and contacted her and wrote a nice feature story about her, and we ran some of her photos online, and this story went completely viral and got shared all over the world, and it kept going and going and going, and it ultimately led us to team up and do a book together where I'd write the stories, she did the photos.
That's incredible. And these are not just any dogs. I mean, we have a dog in here named Marnie who's famous on Instagram. I mean, puts me to shame on Instagram for sure, and most human beings. And then we have George Clooney and his wife Amal, who have rescued as well. So can you tell us some of these really amazing stories that ended up in the book?
Yes, Lori and I, we really wanted to have a good variety of stories in the book so they wouldn't be repetitive. And we thought, wouldn't it be kind of nice to have some internet famous dogs like Marnie, or maybe some celebrities who have done this wonderful thing, a very compassionate and kind thing of taking in an older shelter animal who otherwise might be overlooked. This just tends to happen. And in our wildest dreams, we thought, wouldn't it be wonderful, maybe because we knew that George Clooney had rescued shelter animals and had been involved with that, and sure enough, he was willing to participate in this book and be in it. And so our book actually features Einstein. Let's see if I can find Einstein, his dog, which is so cute.
He's gorgeous.
Such a gorgeous little, here's George Clooney with his dog Einstein.
Oh my gosh! They're both handsome.
Yeah, and it's just so much fun. And so we had a blast, and we got to go to his house in Los Angeles and meet Einstein and do a photo shoot with Einstein, and it was really fun. And so we were very grateful that there were so many people, so many wonderful people came out of the woodwork, and a real community formed around this book. Because people really do, this idea is catching on, and it's resonating more and more, this idea of how meaningful and wonderful and important it can be to help an older shelter animal who otherwise had run out of options.
Right. And it's true, like there's benefits to adopting an older pet, and people don't often think of them. First of all, they're often housebroken.
Yes.
They are already through their puppy phase, so they're more laid back and relaxed, and they still have a lot of life left in them. I have 2 dogs who are just in the senior category. They're not at the end of the scale, but a 7- and an 8-year-old, and I rescued them at those ages, and I love them. They are amazing dogs, and the way that we got together so easily and our personalities gelled, and you wouldn't think. I didn't raise these dogs, but I feel like I did. I feel like I've had them all their lives.
And that is a really wonderful point too. People may think that the only logical option when they're getting a pet is to get a puppy.
Yes.
But puppies are great and they're adorable and they're so much fun, but they're also a tremendous amount of work.
Exactly.
Particularly for people with very busy lifestyles. And there's no fear of failing to bond with a slightly older pet. They're very adaptable. They're so relieved and grateful to be out of the shelter and to be in a nice, safe place where they know they're welcome. So you bond with them as if you've had them their entire lifetime. It's okay, and you have this very close relationship. And we saw this again and again in the book, just how much these dogs help the people. The people healed from different things that they were enduring and dealing with in their lives, and were able to overcome things just because they had these special animals in their lives who helped them so much.
Can you tell me one specific story where it was a transformative experience for the person by rescuing a senior dog?
Yes, there are several examples of that, and the book isn't a sad book. I really want to stress that, because it's a very happy book. It's full of life and it's vibrant and happy.
Like you.
And but it really is. A lot of people will see this and they'll see, old dogs. I'm not going to be able to read that. I have to turn away because it's going to make me cry.
Right.
And everyone is captured in this book at their complete, peak of contentment and happiness, and everybody's fine and everybody's great in this book. But there was a woman, a 75-year-old widow named Madeline. She lost her husband very suddenly. He had been doing fine. They were married 43 years, and he went for a walk with his friends, and he died that day. He collapsed on the walk, and he died. And she could not. She was a very upbeat and positive person, and really wonderful woman. But she could not pull herself out of the depression and the anxiety of being in this house alone. And what happened, and it was such a sudden loss that it just really affected her. Then one thing led to another, and she ultimately wound up adopting a little adorable little Shih Tzu named Maddie. So they're both named Maddie and Maddie, from Muttville Senior Dog Rescue in San Francisco. It's a wonderful, one of the many fantastic senior rescue organizations that we connected with for this book. She adopted Maddie and took this little dog into her life, and then it's not that then everything magically became better, because that's not how that's not how things go. But, but she started to get out of the house because she realized she needed to walk the dog, and it was a turning point. It was the beginning of her starting to live again, and because she got out and walked, the dog was a people magnet, and everybody would come up and talk to Madeline. And talk about the dog, and then it got her to be socializing again. She met neighbors, and then she made friends in the neighborhood, and one neighbor invited her to go on a day cruise, and she met more people that way, and then one thing led to another, and by the time we connect with her, she's taking line dancing classes, she's volunteering at a women's jail, she's seeing a personal trainer once a week, and she's living a very full and meaningful life again, and she completely credits this little dog with bringing her to that point that she otherwise was not really getting out of the house.
That is an incredible example. It's transformative, not just for the dogs, but for the people.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right, and so many examples like that. It just kept happening and happening. That's, we have people from their mid-20s through their late 80s in this book. Every imaginable demographic, every walk of life, every income level, every part of the country. And the one consistent thing that they did was take in this little older friend, and didn't overlook them because of their age, and then their lives got exponentially better.
And that's what animals do, especially senior dogs. So you're on a tour right now, a national book tour, and I see on Facebook all of your interesting posts, and sometimes senior dogs stop by and they're for adoption. So what's your next stop?
After this, right now in New York, I'm in New York, I'm going to be heading to the Chicago area.
Great.
There's going to be a big senior dog weekend in Naperville, Illinois, so outside Chicago. And so I'll be at Anderson's Bookshop on February 27th, and then on February 28th, there's going to be a senior dog seminar with veterinarians and acupuncturists and shelter leaders and all these people talking about how to help these dogs have really great quality of life at that stage of their lives.
You're bringing a whole community together around your book. I wish you so much success. I want to say thank you for being with me, and our viewers should definitely pick up a copy. So where should they go if they want to pick up a copy of your book?
Well, this book is now available at bookstores, pretty much everywhere, and it's also on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com and websites like that. So, and you can learn more about it too through our website. You can find the links to these things at myolddogbook.com.
Thank you, Laura Coffey, for being here. It was an absolute joy to have you here. Don't forget to get this book. This is going to brighten your day and maybe inspire you to bring home your own senior pet. I'm Stephanie Matera. Thank you for joining us on Celebrity Catwalk.
Paws in the City 2016, CelebrityCatwalk.com. Furry fashionistas will once again be hitting the catwalk for charity. Designers are currently being considered for Paws in the City 2016 in New York City. If you would like to participate in Celebrity Catwalk's next Paws in the City event, here are some important details that you need to know about. Paws in the City weekend will take place in New York City the weekend of May 20th, 2016. That's the weekend before Memorial Day. Designs are due in New York City by April 15th, 2016. Designers pick models from the approved Celebrity Catwalk model roster. Designers also create and donate a minimum of 10 looks for the runway. Not 6, not 7, but 10. Of course, you can create more than 10, but 10 is the minimum. Why 10, you say? Because the fashion show itself is made up for each designer. Each designer has their own scene within the show, so designers have total control over what they put on the catwalk. Celebrity Catwalk, we do months of promoting the show and its participating designers. So if you want your designs to hit the catwalk for charity, we look forward to hearing from you. CelebrityCatwalk.com.